consummate professional. All right, I'm looking like I've seen some connections being made. I'm gonna try a little experiment when I see some eyeballs. Tell me about your eyeballs. Can you hear us, folks?
My eyeballs are terrible. I really need a refund.
Right.
Can you get a refund on eyeballs?
I mean, I hope so. Like, certainly
people?
somebody built them.
Sean Duggan says, "Woo!"
Somebody's got to be responsible.
Sean's excited
the
because
manufacturer.
we're 1 minute early.
What?
I know.
Crazy.
I'm seeing lots of eyeballs joining the stream. Sean, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can I what?
Yeah. I mean, I've got these iconic glasses, mostly because my eyes literally can't support the weight of the contacts I need.
And you are an icon in and of yourself. But yeah, that would be... Yeah.
These new glasses aren't as iconic as my old ones.
Like slightly less so.
Yeah, I feel like the ones I tried on in the store were larger, or wider.
Longer, yeah.
And then the production level version is just a little too small.
All right, Sean and Sean, the two Seans, we're going to run a little experiment, a little
Adventures of Sean and Sean.
Sean and Sean, Sean and Sean.
Oh, man, is that the spin-off series for Pete and Pete?
Yes, they're the team. They're the team pedant. Pedantic. Get it, you guys?
Hi. Yeah.
Yes.
I like jokes. Hey, so I'm gonna do me a favor. I've hooped you as well. I've been noticing that our music is a little blown out when we start things up, and so I can't get Crystal and Steve to hear it primarily because I'm a failure when it comes to technology. But well, you can hear us, so that's the first step. I'm gonna mute something, and I want you to tell me if you can still hear the music. And if you can, then hooray. If you cannot, then hoop. 1 second.
My dog's about to start barking.
Uh-oh. It's like they know.
They know. They're so excited. Crystal's dogs love Mutants and Masterminds from them.
Oh man, they love Mutants and Masterminds in general.
AJ, you know what? You are something else. I will tell you. Your kind words are truly appreciated. Charlotte says, "Woo! The best part of Monday is here," and it is here. Hey, so can you hear music? Probably nay, huh? I know you two can. I know the talents
We're useless
can't.
there.
I just like to kind of
Sure. Make fun of my tin ear.
Hey, let's see. Sean says, "Hey, well, I'm being pedant." I'm not going to get into this right now. How dare you, Sean? How dare you try to trick me into answering a question before the episode's even begun? We don't start until at least 2:15, 2:30. No music or yes music? No, okay. All right. Now I'm going to presume you can't hear that, and I want to know now, can you hear music? Or is it quieter, or is it... Welcome to the pre-game entertainment for Mutants and Masterminds Monday. Yeah, this is the pre-game show. Right? Yeah, I know. And they've spent so much money for it, so we've got to... Jason, can you hear Crystal? No music now, which is odd because I've not. Music is back. Okay, quieter music. Okay.
Rock, your stability growing up in Tampa was that the Bucks suck.
I mean, it even rhymes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sort of that kind of reminds me of like comfort food. Like sometimes comfort food is just sort of garbage food.
We took pride in our losing streak.
Well, how about this? I'm just gonna say it. I'm just gonna say it out loud. We're ready to go. We should just start the party right.
Done.
And now is when an asteroid will crush
yeah, exactly.
one of us, if not all three.
I'm gonna wait until I hear Apook say that that he can hear Crystal and Steve, and then we're gonna rock it. Thanks everybody for hanging out. We're gonna be rolling over here. Okay, great. Sean says, I just know when one of the Seans say I can hear or this thing is working, then I'm all in. That's my. I mean, not that Apook, not that you aren't a good source of information. Sean says, hey Troy, if it makes you feel any better, I just spent 2 hours trying to figure out my code was not working. Tries out an extra letter because, yes. You know, really, it is sometimes just that simple. Just a dumb, silly thing that you are, and with broadcasting, doing a live stream like this one that we've just begun called Mutants and Masterminds Monday, wherein the disembodied voice of Troy gets to hang out with two titans of TTRPG industry, Crystal Frasier, hello, and Steve Kenson.
Hello, all.
And when we do this broadcast, I generally screw up a lot of stuff. And I think the real challenge is there's so much to do in a week that the time to do this is generally like I have maybe like 2 hours or so to sort of put everything together. And if one thing goes wrong, it's like just a little grain of sand and it just destroys the whole mechanism. But wow, so Mutants and Masterminds Monday. Today we are talking about what? I mean, I know, but...
I mean, so far we've talked about my dogs and
That's true.
football and
Right.
That's right.
eyeballs.
That's right, because it was the...
Our usual eclectic collection.
Oh, yeah, the stream of consciousness that is, the three of us together on Mutants and Masterminds Monday. But, in a sense of, and folks, you feel free to just throw out any random topic that you care about. But, we're talking about Mutants and Masterminds, and we're talking also about, why did I just blank? We're talking about...
Well, as I understand it,
hero points?
yeah. That's one. We want to talk about hero points, and we talked maybe about talking about sports.
Oh, we're going to talk about
Wait. I was promised we were talking about owls.
Oh,
Right?
yeah,
Superb owls.
yes.
Only the most superb owls.
Only the most. I do actually watch a lot of TikToks about baby owls. They're really, it's a lot of
They
fun.
sound very soothing.
They are the softest creatures I have ever petted.
You petted one? Some?
I've petted lots of them.
Do you have some at your house? You have some now?
Well, not on me. Like, yeah, let me get my owl.
Like, let me get my pocket owl. Here you go.
No, I worked in an animal rescue back in high school, and then a couple of years ago on vacation, one of the things we visited was an owl cafe where they had a bunch of rescue owls.
I was
And
not
you would
aware
just,
there
like-
was such a thing.
You could have like a drink and pet an owl. It was delightful. That's where I met my first capybara.
I literally, if you could hear
Turns out the capybara, kind of owl.
Yes, if you could hear the serotonin flood that's going on in my brain right now, capybara, I mean, I strive to be the capybara. But I just can't get that zen. They are incredible. They are absolutely amazing.
They are the least flappable creatures.
You know who else
Right.
is they're right, and they're also just friends. They're just nature's friend, no matter who you
Yeah.
are, hanging out
You
with
wouldn't be able to get the
crocodiles.
powers of a radioactive capybara because they wouldn't bite you.
No, yeah,
It's
No,
sad,
you'd have to bite the
Bite
radioactive
them.
capybara.
right?
that is.
And then
They'd
the
be like,
capi-
okay,
Oh, I guess whatever.
yeah.
I mean,
got some-
we've all seen the video with this point of the pelican trying to eat the capybara, and the capybara is just like, this is cool.
I know this isn't going
This
to
is
work out for
fine.
you, but you'll relax at some point and want to snuggle. So I'm just going to let you do this. I love it. So we've got some folks here. AJ Real demands to see the owl, so stop holding out on us, Crystal. Alex Thomas, good to see you, friend.
Lord.
Hero points are one of my absolute favorite things about M&M. That
Me too.
yeah. Nicole Lindrews of the Green Ronin Lindrews says Owl Cafe superb.
Right?
Charlotte says
I
Crystal.
knew there were cat cafes, but I didn't know there was such a thing as owl cafes.
I didn't either, and I'm having. I'll be
was-
honest. I'm having a hard time focusing because I keep thinking about this. I want to go to there.
Do not
Owl
Google owl
cafes.
cafes, Troy. Not now.
Too late.
There's too much to do, Troy.
Exactly.
Focus.
Let's see. Charlotte says Crystal mentions capybara, and the music just stops dead. Very thematic. Yeah, absolutely. Just, let's see.
I feel like I've just walked into an Old West saloon with an owl on my hand, and the music just stops, and everyone
Reaches.
stares.
And then I just see all these old timer, dusty old cowboys going, "Oh."
Wow. Well, now I know better than to mention the time I fought like 50 lemurs.
Oh, we need to. Yeah, we'll save that one because I not only want to hear about it, I want someone to draw it. Okay, well, so here's a bit of news. Today we release the next. I think we have 2 left of the Scion family in our Patreon, which is going gangbusters.
Yeah.
Today is Jump, who is, as I recall, one of the more likable members of the family, but
Yes,
also one of the most frustrating to fight.
The teleporter who ironically can't get away from his family.
Right. Yeah. Oh boy, I'm gonna tell you, friends. And I mean this for everybody's my friend. I'm like the capybara of live streamers, but you two, people are really zeroed in on the animal thing. Like we do need to probably do an episode in the future.
So clearly, an animal-themed stream is in our future. The
request very specifically is a future episode devoted entirely to Crystal and her animal adventures.
I'm seeing real quick if I've got any of the photos somewhere accessible, but I think I'm gonna have to go through my phone to find them, and I'm just not gonna do that right now.
Crystal Frasier's animal adventures. I can see it now.
There are no photos of me fighting the lemurs or the alligators, sadly.
Oh, that's a pity.
Now, were you fighting them at the same time, or?
No.
Fights.
Well, I was now. It's what you call cavalry.
The hallmark of a good storyteller. Yes.
Yes, and.
Yes, and. Exactly. Scott Alford says, animal stream? The Primentalist approves. I like it. Okay, so to the Patreon we shall go, and in addition to, we might as well, jump. Go ahead and jump. Get it?
I see where you went there.
Oh, sorry.
I love jokes. In addition, we are also going to, our top tiers, the hero and prime levels, they are doing a vote. They're making a vote.
Even as we speak.
They are. Now.
Oh, that's right. They're voting for the wrong people, as I recall.
I was going to say, yeah, you've got some thoughts on this, right?
Yeah, right?
I feel like people don't appreciate the contenders because they're like peak 90s. They're like supervillain teams in the 90s still had that like theme thing going on that Silver Age supervillain teams had, but by the 90s they were all like brutal and badass and brooding and trying to be super serious about their villain theme. So this is like 4 guys who are boxers and they have superpowers, and one of them literally has bare hands.
I mean, folks, honestly, are you listening?
He will kill you with his bare hands.
Yeah, I mean, it is the perfect character and set of characters for live stream sort of grist for the live stream mill.
The pun alone does extra damage.
Yeah, the area of effect is just
area of effect.
Yeah, yes, we are scoring all the points today. There's a couple. This is interesting. I'm Sean Duggan shares there was a query in Reddit about if there were guidelines. Sean, how dare you? Your excellent questions have derailed me from my topic. But here I go. People wanted to know about how to stat up animal superheroes, like how to do it. And Sean referred them to Blue Rose about the intelligent animals. That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, generally you'd stat up an animal superhero the same way you'd stat up a human superhero, but then they've got the added complication of, no hands or can't speak or...
Right. Yeah, they literally have the complication that they're an animal.
Right.
Hard to get a lease.
Jordan Taylor asked a good question. I'm gonna jump into questions here. Let me finish the Patreon thing because I swear this is like a kid in a candy store for me. Too many good things going on at once. But
never gonna get to the owls.
I know, right? I'm sorry. I hope we don't run out of time before because Crystal's got the owls to share, and my talking is just lengthy.
Oh God, am I supposed to be looking up those photos?
Sure.
For today?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. If you don't want to show the ones that you're hiding just off screen. But yeah. So the other thing I was going to say about that is, So you've got the votes coming out, and we're so close to cracking that $500 a month, and when we crack that, it unlocks a bunch of stuff for the world at large, which is a generous endeavor for all of the patrons to engage on, and in addition, a ton of new content. You still get the weekly stat blocks that come up as voted on by your fellow patrons in the hero and prime tier, and then we start talking about locations, right? We start writing.
We start getting into articles, right?
Yes.
So it could be locations, but it might not necessarily be just that.
I'm excited for it. I'm here for it, and I'm stoked. And Jordan Taylor, welcome Jordan, says, I'm trying to remember, players can create complications in combat to gain hero points, right?
Yes. In fact, I tend to encourage that. When I'm running Mutants and Masterminds, one of the things that can be challenging is keeping track of all of the characters' complications at any given time. So I strongly encourage the players to bring up moments when their complications would come into play, to say, hey, this is a great time for this to happen in order to get my character a hero point. And the fact that they're getting hero points for it helps to encourage the players to remember that and to sometimes even suggest, hey, this would be a good complication in this scene or this setting, to come up. It's a great opportunity as far as that goes. So I encourage it a lot.
There's a real magic that happens in that negotiation between the GM and the player when the player is, really immersed in that character and realizes, oh, hey, I've got a fear of this, or there's a thing about that really, and it's such an ingenious mechanism.
Sure.
Steve, what was the that whole aspect of complications? Where did that come from? Like, was there a particular inspiration for that?
There were a number of different things, and there were plenty of games before Mutants and Masterminds that would award some sort of brownie points based on the character's behavior to one degree or another. Like the old Marvel superheroes game used karma to encourage heroic actions and discourage villainous actions, so that you would get karma points for doing heroic things and you would actually lose karma points for doing bad things. So things like that kind of encourage the notion of finding some way to reward in-play actions for the characters. And from there, it just made good sense to link that to the sort of story-based complications that come up for characters in Mutants and Masterminds in play, because M&M, although it's a point-based character creation system, one thing that I didn't want to get too heavily into was the notion of negative point things that you would take to try to balance out your character, because it usually tended to result in a lot of kind of bad concepts for the most part in my game experiences.
That's honestly hurt feelings after character generation.
Right.
It's like if your character squeezed an extra couple of points by taking color blindness, and then you ever brought color blindness up in the game,
right,
players could get angry.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I honestly, I love the system that rewards you for bringing it up, because then I, as a player, can get into more trouble and be rewarded for it.
Exactly. And theatrical players love it because it rewards them for playing their characters.
Right, you can give it like an eye roll bonus for the rest of the people at the table.
Yep. And Troy, I've sent you a couple of images.
Oh, believe me, I am. It is. I'm having a very difficult time right now trying to focus because it's
not the most flattering photo of me, sadly.
It's So I'm gonna tee that up here and try to focus. But yeah. So
yes.
What are some other aspects? So there is an interesting that negotiation between the player and the DM, that sort of agreement of I will negotiate. Sometimes even I think when you hear I've been watching all the streams, and I've got to tell you, I'm in love with the Mutants and Masterminds community, and generally the age community and people who are they're really into it, and to see some of the way that they can sort of switch back and forth between the real them in, out of character and in character, and talking with the the GM, it is it's a joy to behold, and it becomes a sort of secondhand sort of dialogue, almost like a quick short language of how they're getting to that point. What are some practical sort of advice or things, innovative ways that you've seen people embrace that the hero point stuff and really leverage it both from the perspective of the person running the game and the people playing it?
Oh gosh, I've had players ask to turn like specific characters or villains they encounter into nemeses, so that anytime they really want to have the drama, they can ask for the hero point to have their nemesis show up as part of another villain's scheme.
That is brilliant.
Yeah. I've seen players who will take failed roles in play and say, like, oh, this attack I rolled a 1. In addition to missing, can I have this happen? And it's really going to cause a problem. Like, my character collapses a wall, or sets off the sprinkler system, or blows something up unintentionally. That's going to cause additional challenges, for the characters.
Or my favorite is, as the GM, I can always be like, I'll give you a hero point if...
yes, the infamous hero point bribe.
I love it.
It's like, well, your motivation is justice, and this guy's not going to get a fair trial. I'll give you a hero point if you let him go.
That's interesting. So how much if the... knowing that there's some prep work and some time, and maybe you're potentially gaming with people that you've known for a long time and you're familiar with the characters and all that stuff, how do you ever tailor the adventure, whether it's sort of premeditated or sort of shifts mid adventure to account for those?
Oh yeah, the big secret with superhero games that nobody will admit is superhero comics are just soap operas. They're soap operas with punching and fireballs. Yep,
absolutely.
And so the stories really need to hone in on the characters and their pasts and their fears and their weaknesses.
Yep, and they need melodrama.
Yes.
Of some kind or another.
I'm having a melodrama right now. Sorry, I literally am. I literally, folks, you'll see this. I'm going to show it towards the end, but you do not want to leave before you get a chance to see these characters. They are so great. Anyway, sorry to interrupt.
No, it's okay.
I just thought I should share the love.
But yeah, I mean, it really is. Oftentimes it's not about the characters even being able to stop the villain. It's, can they stop the villain while also not ruining the date they're on, or without losing their job, or without, missing the important appointment that they have.
Getting detention, or
right,
disrupting their aunt's wedding, or...
Yeah, and a number of other things.
Or like you're playing 2 twins, but you're only one person, and so you have to keep like running and changing your clothes every...
What kind of background do you have, Troy?
Right.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. No, that was yesterday here in my real life.
Although there was that brief time where Matt Murdock faked his own death and then pretended to be his brother.
His twin brother. Yep.
Nobody caught on, huh?
I mean, I think everybody was just being polite.
Sure.
Like, sure, Matt. I mean, Mike.
Mike. Let's see what some people are saying here. Apuk says complications are the most brilliant part of Mutants and Masterminds. To be sure, hands down. I might argue that Apuk is the most brilliant part of Mutants and Masterminds. But just me.
He's up there.
Yeah, definitely top 10, 20. Let's see, Matthew, Tyler, you have written a beautiful novel that I will consume. I'm going to put a bookmark in it right now just because of time, and you don't want to run out of time because you want to both see the images that I'm going to share and then have Crystal share the owl collection that she's hiding just off screen. She does it every time. You just didn't know. Let's see. Sean Vieira says, Karma of the old Marvel system. It was it was brutal in a game where someone played Wolverine, lost so many points.
Yeah.
Well, especially because one of the catches in the old karma system was that if the one penalty was if a superhero killed someone, not only did they lose all their karma, but all their teammates did. And so it was it was a deliberate setup of, this was why the X-Men were always holding Wolverine back, because they didn't want to lose all their karma.
Gotcha. Hey, let's see. I think that was Nate. Will you do me a favor, Nate? And if you can hear us louder, give us some corn chowder. I'm hungry. Let's see. Scott Alfred says, I love it when someone almost one-shots a BBEG at the risk of saying
Big bad evil guy.
Big bad evil guy. Okay, good. And the GM has a minor tantrum and uses the dreaded villain point. Is that a thing?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
I mean, it was from first edition where the villain, or not the villain, the game master got hero points as well every session to spend. Nowadays, you just give the player you screw over another hero point. But...
Right. Instead, the game master is more just sort of like the treasury department. We just print hero points, as we need to.
Boy, the creativity today is off the charts. There are some, Matthew says, I have an idea for an M&M Patreon. How about a super team tier? And for its debut, how about a Farscape-inspired team? I was a fan of Farscape. I really enjoyed Farscape a lot.
We do have our sort of Guardians of the Galaxy-inspired group of space misfits who we should do something again with, because they're delightful.
They show up briefly in the cover of Prodigal Son.
Oh, good.
So you see, like, the platypus there, like, getting ready to blow Dark Star away, or Black Star away.
Yep.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah, those characters are delightful. I would love to see them again.
Yeah, and then, like, basically my philosophy as a GM is anytime a player makes my life easier, whether it's, like, doing some kind of no prize to explain a plot hole, or putting 2 and 2 together, or getting everybody, like, on the same, sort of going in the same direction on an investigation, like, I'm happy to hand out a hero point.
Yeah. I'm not saying that it's like training seals and tossing smelt to them, but it's kind of analogous.
Well, I tried tossing smelt to my players.
I
guess
and that
I'm the
didn't
only
work.
one.
Well, you know what they say. They who smelt it dealt it. Let's see. Nate Robbins, what a kind word. Actually, a string of kind words. We love having you, Crystal and Steve, and love that you were here for us. That's really sweet. They are here for you at any time, day or night. Just give them a call. I'll share their numbers at the end of the show. Jordan says, I was more thinking of a situational complication not related to the characters, but more to the environment, like a child wandering into the combat. Oh, yes, right.
Oh, yeah.
Sure. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. If things are going too easy for my players, I will absolutely make a mess of things.
Oh, how diabolical. I do love that. Sort of introducing something you're like, hey,
oh, yeah. No,
No, please, go ahead.
Oh, I'll have, like, more villains show up out of nowhere, or suddenly their love interest is there, wondering where they wandered off to, or, the floor collapses and everybody gets dumped down into a new environment and has to save against the damage.
Yep, that's what my players call the Nuns and Dynamite scenario from the Justice League episode.
Every time somebody gets too close to figuring it all out, Nuns and Dynamite.
Nuns and Dynamite.
Crystal Frasier, how dare you? I didn't see the extra picture that you dropped in here. My eyes are watering. I am going to have a full-on Veronica Mars panic attack about how cute these animals are. Holy smokes. Okay.
So the thing I need to know that's very important is, because it just occurred to me, is there somewhere an owl cafe that is called Hooters?
Oh, there ought to be if there isn't.
Right. If there isn't, there needs to be.
There's got to be one somewhere, but...
that's the thing that you get from Mutants and Masterminds Monday that you don't get from anywhere else. We were just full of business ideas, like all show long. It's new T-shirt slogans. It's
this is what I work with.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's truly amazing. So if you're looking to start a business, you can have that idea.
Our consultation fees are reasonable.
They really are. Just a monthly installment plan. Okay, so here's a question. This is very interesting. So Sean Duggan asks about GM fiat and how that was largely eliminated as a term in the Hero's Handbook. Do you want to talk to that shift? It sounds like we kind of had a kind of a shift in thinking.
Well, it was largely eliminated because we shifted more towards the notion that game masters should be awarding hero points to the players for those instances. And experience told us and feedback told us that people found the notion of GM fiat very distasteful. It implied something unfair about the whole process, in spite of the fact that one of the great, again, unsung secrets of gaming is that the GM can basically do whatever they want.
Right.
The GM just makes it up.
You're just not supposed to point that out quite so obviously.
With a
flourish. The Emperor's always had no clothes. You're just rude if you say it.
Right.
That's right.
So
if the Emperor walks around looking like they have clothes on, then yeah, sure.
So we just sort of refocused it on the notion that, on those occasions when you're going to sort of rearrange the scenery, it's polite to, toss the players a hero point for it.
And and honestly, anytime your players feel awful, it's good to kind of ease that by throwing out a hero point. So GM fiat, or they lose in a fight, hero points all around.
You go. Yep.
Or you want the villain to escape even though they've lost the fight, hero points, and the villain escapes down a trapdoor.
Yeah. And honestly, the funny thing is you see mechanics like that finding their way into other games. Things like legendary resistance for creatures in Dungeons and Dragons is basically just a GM fiat mechanic that says, hey, this creature is so important to the plot that it gets to automatically succeed on saving throws X many times. Because honestly, if your big bad monster fails its first saving throw and dies in the first round of combat, that's terrible.
Very anticlimactic. Yeah, it's not a very exciting ending. This is an interesting question from. Let me see, from who? I don't even know. I'm going to make it up. Here we go.
Let's assume a Sean.
It's probably a Sean.
Chances are.
I'm pretty sure that it was. I'll be honest, Matthew, Tyler, I keep reading your paragraph. It is, you got a lot of good stuff. Like there's something about people that the race of people are called the Cloacans. Is that true? That doesn't sound like are they bird people, I guess? Let's see. Here we go. This it is a very juicy paragraph filled with good stuff. Oh, Hanover Fist, there we go, has a question. And so they say, we've been, in quotes, discussing, ominous, whether the grab-based extra creates a reaction on any grab or only when that specific power is used. Do you know what I'm talking about?
There's a flaw for your power where it only goes off
when you grab someone. It requires a grab in order to use the power, essentially.
Gotcha.
So it's something where you have to actively use the power and make a grab check, or have somebody already grabbed and then spend an action to use the power.
There you go, Mr. Fist. Your answer. Let's see. Nate Robbins says, sardines. Yes, of course. Sean says, had a villain. I hated it, but players loved him. Give the player who accidentally killed him some many rewards. Yes, so that's great. I love that. Let's see. Where did this box of puppies come from? Says Nicole. Hooters is in Aldous. I imagine that there is a Hooters in Aldous.
One has to imagine.
Yeah, but it's a very nice supportive setting, so I imagine the place is called Nice Hooters.
Right.
Yes. I see Nate Robbins has an idea for a location.
It would be super awkward if they served hot wings, though, right?
Yes, that would be. Yeah, that is.
Well, for starters, your Hooters would get all sticky.
They really would.
It's true.
They really would. They would.
Who wants that?
Sticky. They'd be all of their follicles matted and stuck together. Let's see here. Nate Robbins would like to talk about a location opportunity vegetarian chili bar called the Root and Tudor.
All right.
Yeah, we'll have to work that one out. We'll let that one digest for a minute.
As it were.
As it were. The Central Perch. Nate Robbins, you are a true delight, and I want you to be in every live stream I ever do for the rest of my life. And I'm immortal, so lucky you. Okay, so I've gotta. I know I can't. I'm gonna do it. I'll do it towards the end of the show. You need to see this stuff. It's unbelievable. Literally, it is like 3 of my favorite things on this earth in one picture. Let's see. It's not cloacan. It's coloaxian, the same species as the Loma slife in Rogue's Gallery. Oh, okay.
Oh,
the cololaxatives.
Cholaxians, I believe.
Cholaxians. No, wait, that's copyrighted.
It's Alex Thomas says, is that a threat or a promise, Troy? It is a.
Oh, the Chorna.
Promise.
Oh, there we go.
The ancient space dragons who are all but extinct, and all of the ones that are alive are these ancient wise guardians of ancient, like,
things,
cosmic temples and whatnot.
That's right.
Except for the one who is a biker chick.
Now, is there a character called the Roswell Kid?
The Roswell Kid?
Kind of a miss.
Not really sure, but there ought to be if there isn't.
I mean, yeah, right? I mean, there might be something in Earth Prime. Is somebody asking if that's
There's
us?
so many characters.
You know, Matthew, I would love for you to, just so I don't lose the thread on this, I'll tell you, the chat gets so dense and we get so much going on there that sometimes I lose a thread or two. But send a note to letsplay@greenronin.com and share this, and we'll kind of do something because it's really thoughtful. I really, really enjoy it, and that's what Mutants and Masterminds Monday is all about. Let's see what we've got here.
Absolutely.
Chorna, I see that. Okay, great. And Apuk says the Cholaxians. Owen Casey Stevens says Roswell Kid is an American indie rock band.
Okay.
That he is employed as a background entertainment for his clogging expeditions. He kind of goes out and does some clogging performances for everybody. Owen Casey Stevens, do you know that he comes out out from hiding, and he comes out and hangs out with everybody on Thursday, and the show's called Thurstage with Owen Casey Stevens. But we hang out.
It's a great show.
It's a great show, 2 p.m. Pacific every Thursday, and he's feeling better. He was feeling a little.
Good. I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah.
Sean Vieira says Roswell Kid. Yes, please. Made one.
Right.
So interesting.
It's a great concept.
I love it. I love it. So, what are some other aspects of, and I'm just going to be really blunt. I have so many threads in my ADHD brain right now, and one of them is this giant picture that I can't stop looking at, and I'm gonna refrain. I'll show it at the end. But specific to kind of hero points, and we also talked about, speaking of super bowels, that sort of sounds like I said super bowels. That's not what I'm talking about.
No, it's not what we're talking about.
What even is a super bowel?
I will tell you that, and I don't know who it was, and it could be someone who's listening, watching now, but someone mailed me a cereal. It just came in the mail, and it said, "Poop like a champ." This is the name of the cereal.
Oh, you're trying your first bowl of colon blow.
That's right. I'm on
now new super colon blow.
Yes, that's right. And so that's I did have some this morning. I will report back how everything turns out.
Please don't.
You're right. There's no need.
I'm feeling generous. But yeah, I'm interested. My serial adventures aside, talking about the nature of sporting events and things.
I was going to say, we haven't even gotten to talking about how you use hero points.
Oh my gosh,
when you spend them.
Well, let's do that.
So the player half of the equation.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I mean, I feel like a lot of new players are afraid to spend their hero points or only want to use them for rerolls.
Oh, that's me.
Because they don't know how many points they'll get over the course of the game. So, I mean, it's going to vary from GM to GM, but you start out with 1, and you should be getting at least 1 or 2 per scene. So you should feel free to spend at least 1 hero point in a scene.
Right. Well, and especially since hero points reset, every adventure, there's no point in hoarding them. I actually ended up specifically doing that because there was a friend of mine who I gamed with for years who was a terrible point hoarder. And if there were like points that would go over from game to game, he would never spend them. And it would drive everybody else in the group crazy because they were just like, you can't spend them if we're all dead.
Right.
I kind of feel that because the old karma system for the Marvel face rip game, I mean, that was your XP too.
Yeah, exactly. And that was exactly the reason why characters were often hoarders for those things was, because it was XP or it was something else they could do with it.
And same with D6 Star Wars and the old D6 Ghostbusters game.
Yep.
And life. Just the idea of hoarding that resource. So
hoarding your karma.
You may need it, that scarcity model of sort of thinking and living and, oh my God, this is so cute. Okay.
Yeah. So Steve, what do you see players using hero points for? Because
one of the sort of lesser known connections with hero points is the relationship between hero points and extra effort in Mutants and Masterminds. And sometimes folks mistake the extra effort mechanics as hero point mechanics. And they're related, but they're slightly different. Because extra effort requires fatigue. But one of the mechanics of hero points is basically the ability to shed fatigue. So there's a deliberate relationship built in there that basically spending a hero point kind of gets you a free use of extra effort as far as that goes without any associated penalty to it. So the extra effort mechanics are sort of hero point mechanics in that way. But they're also usable on those occasions when you don't have hero points. That's when the having some sort of cost kicks in. And that's intended to create that sort of dramatic tension of we're all out of hero points, but we still have some options as far as that goes.
Alex Simon's just commenting on the notion of hoarding hero points, says there's a no prize at the end for having the most.
Right.
Owen says, I use my hero points to look cool, not be effective, just to look cool. Like right after I come up with a good one.
I've done that.
Yeah, sure.
My dog would like to play you the song of her people.
Can everyone hear that? Yes. Yeah, utilizing their hero point. They will now play you the song of their people. I love it. Nate Robbins is really fleshing out this this kid, this Area 51 kid or whatever it is.
The Roswell kid.
Mm-hmm.
I assume it's a gunslinger, but with alien guns.
Right?
Maybe like big black eyes.
Here's what they say. He is a teen that is like the Watcher now after he was irradiated from a Roswell crash site number 5. Number 5?
Mm-hmm.
So that's like, then so that's Area 5 as opposed to, there's just 1 through 51. Mm-hmm. That's interesting. Let's see.
Right. So is he like an all-seeing teenager who just sort of complains that everything is boring?
Oh, yes. Oh, my God. That is so irritating.
He's Quirk?
I like
Right.
Nate Robbins says he never ages and is able to travel through time and space.
Oh, God. Could you imagine having to be a teenager
forever? That's terrible.
I mean,
2 puberties is enough for me.
Oh, right. I just couldn't imagine having to do that again. Let's see. Nate said,
well, we're not all that tough.
Nate says, in the game of life, you hoard children.
Okay. I love it.
Yes, I guess we hoard our dogs.
Mm.
And Ninja Turtle figures and ponies.
Right.
Yeah.
Books.
But
books.
yeah, like my favorite use for hero points that I never really get to see is people spending them to edit the scene.
I was just gonna say that, yeah.
Like, because so many like classic Batman the Animated Series episodes resolve when like Batman doesn't do anything, but something in the scene like trips up the villain and causes their demise.
Yep.
So like, the villain's powers start a fire and fuel tanks explode, or, the villain gets knocked backwards and falls into their own fear chemical, and gets dosed with it, or
Yep.
That's a daily occurrence.
I mean, these
for
are all amazing things you can spend your hero points on to really
Wait.
like jazz up a scene. Or
Are you kidding
Yeah.
me? So you're saying the hero? I always sort of just thought of it as a flourish and an extra, but you're talking about a person can actually edit the experience. I mean, you're negotiating it, right?
Yeah, there's always a certain amount of negotiation that goes into it.
I mean, and especially if you're like, if the combat's gone on a while, or you've delivered what mechanically is the finishing blow, like spend a hero point and talk about like, this is how it goes down.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And and especially if a player is willing to throw in some risk for that, then editing a scene is like when the player says, well, I want to edit the scene so the catwalk we're fighting on collapses, and the villain may fall into the vat of chemicals. And the game master says, okay, but you're going to need to make an athletics check to grab that broken railing, or your character might be going in right after him.
That is absolutely flipping incredible. It's just when I think about that negotiating outside of the storyline and everyone kind of engaged and sort of seeing how this, it really gives players the opportunity to strut, and to be, ingeniously kind of impacting things. That's just mind blown.
Oh yeah, that's what you save them all up for, so you can feel cool at the very end.
Right.
So that's what Owen's talking about.
They're a lot of fun to just spend to like shake off being dazed, or to get a re-roll when you really want to connect. But they're also really fun to use to just like change up the scene, like have the catwalk you're on collapse, or my favorite is players who want to justify like some weird effect, like a song, or or like they can fight when blinded, but they know the villains can't, so you spend a hero point and there's a fire extinguisher there that'll make a cloud across the area, or spend a hero point and you can take out the lights in the room.
I love that. Just kind of watching you talk over the beautiful song in the background. It is an A+ addition to the fun that we have here on Mutants Masterminds Monday. That is phenomenal.
All brought to you at no extra charge.
You know what? This is really true. This is all free. This is free for you, and
this website is free.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Matthew Tyler says, no, the Roswell kid I'm proposing is a half human, half Shun from the Cosmic Handbook, teenager, raised on old westerns. Oh, I like it. So old, True Grit and Dollars and Quentin Tarantino's Django Unchained. That uses blaster pistols like so just sort of the some people may call him a space cowboy.
Some might.
Some might
not us.
Not us. Yeah, he could be a gangster. I don't know. Up. Luke says a certain player I know
could be a gangster of Squonk.
Of Squonk. I don't know what that means, but I want.
Oh, just the squeaking noise over here.
There we go. Exactly. Hoarding the Squonk. Let's see. Alexandra says we corgis are a proud people. Hear me for my cause and be silent to the end. Yes, I love it. Alex says I might be getting my Brutus monologue wrong. Mixing those are two great tastes. And John Polajak, hey John, good to see you, friend. John says spend a hero point, and the villain is distracted by sudden squeaking. What in the what the devil? And then bonk, and then Nicole, ever my conscience says stop, Troy Hewitt. These are good times. So, what have we learned, friends?
We've learned never send Troy cute photos at the beginning of the episode.
Always do. I mean, it is the best kind of derailing, and I think that the idea that we're about to share such a remarkable. I can't. I literally am.
You can't even?
I can't even. I mean, are there flamingos in this picture? What the hell? What is this dreamland? I mean, I don't know that I've ever wanted to pet a flamingo, but I'd like to see one that I can touch.
At least like to have the option. You know?
Okay, what is happening here? Crystal Frasier is sharing pictures of the cutest things in the world. I mean, these are animals she has touched. There's a picture of her touching one of my favorite creatures, and then you bring a corgi into frame. I don't even know
I have
how
specifically taken the corgi away from her musical instrument.
I mean,
thus alternate distraction must be supplied.
I am not sure what this feeling is in my brain. Is it joy? Is it? I don't even know. I'm just.
It's just serotonin. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
It's a 2021 thing. I'm not really sure where it's all coming from, but I do love it. Let's see. Nate Robbins says, "I would love to work with you guys. You would. Let me guarantee you would.
We're joy.
We are a joy and a delight, and it's like this, just nonstop fun, like this every day, every minute of the day, all night long, and it's just like a big digital slumber party."
Yeah, the squeaking never stops.
No,
It's
the
true.
squeaking, yeah, absolutely.
Ain't no party like a corgi party.
'Cause I love it. Oh, Owen says, "I can't even." Well, that's odd. Let's see. Alex Thomas says, "How dare you send us free serotonin? My therapist charges a copay." Yeah. No, not here, friends. Not here. Universal single.
Wait, are you
payer
sharing the
serotonin.
photo now?
I am not yet, but I
Okay.
think I might. I should. I shan't. I shall, not shan't. I'm going to do so, and I'm going to do so. I'm going to double check to
What are
make
you
sure
doing?
when I do this, we're going to mute that and make sure that.
He's really dead set on that squeaker.
I'm gonna, okay, I'm trying to. Oh my god, I don't even know how to do. I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna share. Are you ready, folks? We're gonna.
Brace yourselves.
Yeah, brace yourselves. Hello, serotonin singular power of positive empathy is useless against the grump. Yes, that's so. In case you.
Are you kidding? It's the grump's only weakness.
Right?
That's right. That is right. Oh, Nate Robbins says, "I use an HP to give everyone a foster animal to love." That is a very, that's a very magnanimous. Is that right? That is a very generous.
Magnanimous?
Magnanimous.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right, I need everyone just to sort of get into your good space. Like, I want you to be prepared to see this. I don't want you to be alarmed.
There's no preparing, Troy.
I know.
No one is ready.
You couldn't possibly.
Do I dare ask which one you're going to show?
Well, I'm gonna start. Well, there's one that I'm saving for the end. Because it's incredible on many levels. Not to say that this first one, which is 3 pictures of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Are these 6 different? What? Okay, I'm gonna just show it. What in the happy? What? This is incredible. Can you all see that? And you can tell me you can hear. I mean, at least knowing that you were able to put your eyeballs on this is where. What? Help me.
That's the Owl Cafe.
Right?
Where is it?
Those are the loner owls.
Loner owls.
You can check
For
out.
when you bring your owl in to get repaired.
Oh, well, sure. You don't want to be without an owl during those times.
I want to go to there. I want to live in a world where I'm like, hey, my owl needs a tune-up. Can I get my loner owl?
Making this weird hooting sound when I started up.
Right?
Hootie-hoo. A little hootie in the blowfish. I cannot believe this. So where were you? You were in...
This was...
Is it Japan?
Oh, yeah, this was in Tokyo.
Tokyo, okay.
We were on vacation. Oh gosh. Remember when vacations were a thing? I think it was 2017.
Right? Remember when we went to places?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, I remember leaving the house. It was lovely. No, this was my first ever vacation. My wife and I saved up for like 3 years, and like we'd always ever done staycations before that, or we'd make a road trip to visit like my parents or her parents. This was our first time taking a trip somewhere and being tourists.
What an amazing place to go. It's the one place that I still, it's on my bucket list. So everybody, get vaccinated and put on your masks and all that good stuff, because I want to go to Japan. So you just kind of walk in and you just sort of grab a armful of owls, and then you walk out, and then you take them with you back home in your luggage. And can you touch them?
Oh yeah, they're very friendly. They encourage you to like go slow because they're still, they're not domesticated. They're just kind of
Right.
accustomed to people.
Do they try to
So,
bite
but
you?
some of them nibbled a little. Mostly they know that
Nibble.
if they nip, you'll stop petting
Right.
them. But a lot of them just loved being touched.
They're so.
It's-
I can't believe it. So now I'm going to show. Let's see. Apuk says, oh, he shares a link to CNN, the Tokyo Akiba Fukuro Owl Cafe. Is that it? Is that where you went?
I could not tell you the name of the place.
That is something else. The Owl Ramen House. That is actually a pretty good. That's a good mix. It is better than the yakisoba building, I think.
Oh, the yakisoba building.
Yeah. Memories. All right, I'm going to show the other image because I'm sorry, everybody. I know that I'm just monopolizing the time, but this one, this is the. I can't believe that owl is just like. I'm going to show the picture. I'm doing it right now. It is. It's just. Can everybody see this?
I don't know what you're.
I'm showing the capybara with the owl that's kind of hanging out on top of something, like it's saying, "Hi, Crystal."
That is a terrible photo of me. I look so chunky.
I am saying you look like someone who has touched the face of a god. That is amazing. And that there is an owl. That owl kind of hanging out on a perch is literally like, "Hi, what about me?" And I see some flamingo butts in the background.
Mm-hmm.
That
it was mostly an owl cafe, but they had a ton of, rescue animals who had been exotic pets, but people got tired of them or couldn't care for them and turned them over to, animal rescues. And the way they funded themselves was taking the most, like the friendliest or the most personable animals and having this cafe.
It's incredible.
Clever idea.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
AJ Real says, throws a Pokeball. I love it.
There was also a fennec fox, but she was very shy.
What? I'm hyperventilating. Hold on. No.
There was a fox.
There's the fennec foxes are literally. I mean, I want all of those animals. I mean, that is. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna create a character that's like just all of the cutest animals. Like summon them and they come. They just hang out and everybody is like, oh, and they don't want to fight anymore.
There we go. There's the sending that photo to you, Troy.
Oh, you don't. How dare you?
Anything that gets you off the photo with me in it.
I am. Oh no, this is so.
But yeah, that capybara was just the sweetest, most chill animal in the world.
I am.
You could pay like I think it was 50 yen or 500 yen and get like a bunch of snacks to feed him, and he was gentle and he loved his snacks.
Fox snacks. What do they eat? Love?
Oh no, the capybara. The
Oh,
capybara you could feed.
Oh, gotcha.
The fennec fox was very shy, very skittish. She didn't really want to come out, so we didn't force her.
Well, they eat evil, as I understand.
They mostly eat bugs, scorpions, snakes.
Could you imagine a little fennec fox just
Like
chowing
little
down
rodents.
on a scorpion? That would be. I want to go there. I want to see that. Okay, I'm going
But
to.
yeah, she was 10 times cuter than she looks in the picture.
Wow.
No, that can't be right.
See,
Yeah.
now in addition to
she was
going,
like this big, like kitten
oh,
sized.
tiny.
Yeah.
Oh.
Now in addition to going to the island where all the foxes are, I want to go with Troy.
Oh, it would be Steve. It would be.
Wait.
I don't.
Okay,
even
I've got
know.
an idea for this year's Green Ronin Summit.
Right.
It's going to be a little pricey, but I think it's going to be worth it.
But it'll be worth it.
This is so great.
Hear me out, Nicole. I know you're in the chat.
Right.
All right, I'm gonna show this this little lady. What was her name? Do you remember?
I don't. It was in Japanese.
We'll
and
call her Farah.
I mean, I learned enough Japanese to be polite and mostly say sumimasen and oh gosh. Yeah, I haven't used it in 3 years, so I don't remember what else
I hear you. Yeah.
I learned, how to be polite and show people that, I gave
Right.
half,
Please and
yeah.
please and thank you. And where's the bathroom?
All right, I've
And
transitioned.
lots of excuse me, sorry, I am a giant monster.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah, what I've noticed is that, like, if you bring a language book with you or a language app, you can get by okay. And if you just make the effort and know a few words, people appreciate that so much that it buys you a lot of
well, and they're fascinated too,
goodwill.
right? My experience in China and in Korea is that they want sort of, some people definitely do, but in China for sure they want to practice their American English.
In Tokyo, definitely. But when we went to Kyoto, almost nobody spoke English. I shouldn't say almost nobody, but I'd say, like, in Tokyo, almost everybody spoke at least a little English. And when we went to Kyoto, maybe 1 in 3. I mean, we didn't go to a lot of the super touristy areas. We went to a lot of temples and, like, small restaurants, and because we're kind of boring. We're not good at being tourists. We mostly just like sampling the food and, like, hanging out and hearing people's stories.
So soaking in the ambiance in Japan and just all the pictures that I've seen, and there are places just to sit and be in that Japanese experience. But this Fennec Fox, by the way, this Fennec Fox is whom I'm naming Farah, is so cute.
Have you shared the photo with people yet?
I am. I'm sorry. Yeah, I've kind of been just staring at it. But yeah. I have.
Don't hoard, Troy.
I know I'm hoarding all that. Well, this is interesting. Jordan Taylor says, "What about an animal controller who has cute animals around them, who has them turn bad unexpectedly? Like, oh, that's so cute, and it chews your face off."
Right.
I mean, could color kawaii.
Right, and has that protective aura of cute animals, like, I can't hit her.
I can't punch her. She's got a ferret on her shoulder.
Right? I might hurt the capybara.
Right. Oh, you can get one of those tiny baby ferrets, like the little ones, and you can have them on each finger, and then just like attack, and you have 10 ferrets coming out.
It's like fire weasels out of your fingers.
Fire weasels.
Volley of ferrets.
A volley of fire weasels. Let's see. Sean Vieira says domesticated silver foxes are so interesting. The difference from the wild version is striking. You know what always interesting too? Apuk says Vorpal Fennec Fox. Okay, I'll buy that. Okay.
Take your head off, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow.
Little one.
I wasn't prepared. No. I didn't get to ask my question, so I'm going to ask it now. Alex Thomas says, I'm picturing mammal Medusa.
Just like hedgehogs and
hedgehogs
and weasels and what else is a mammal? Cats for hair.
Squirrels.
Hey, Nate Robbins, in using their best Australian accent, I'm imagining, sitting just like adjacent to some kind of ferocious alligator of some sort, says, "You do know the Fennec Fox ears are not only for hearing; they use it to cool off their body heat due to the climate they live in."
Yes.
Yep.
That's why my ears are so huge. Let's see. Fennec Shan is the name of the bounty hunter played by Ming-Na Wen in The Mandalorian. Okay.
She didn't have big ears.
No, I don't remember that. What are you even saying?
She's cool enough, though.
Absolutely. Yeah. Soviet scientists created the only tame foxes in the world, says Sean Vieira. We are a wealth of...
Oh, that really derailed the conversation. Glad I didn't share the lemurs.
I gotta tell you, this is phenomenal. You stop it, chat. You're ruining my question. No, you're not really ruining it. We're having all kinds of fun, and I appreciate it and value it. But I asked a question. It was very important because, the hashtag thing is a thing, and I know it is. It's and it's important, and it's a way for people to kind of find stuff out. But we needed to.
Sure.
What was that? Oh, I thought it was your. I heard some crackling. I thought it was your knuckles. I was like, uh-oh. So, Crystal's got a hit. She's got an assignment. It's time to take it.
All right, that's it, Troy. Get back on track, or
else.
I love it. But so I'm thinking. I'm certain everyone will love this idea. But the idea of so we are Mutants and Masterminds Monday. So I thought,
right.
Mew Ma Mo. You ma.
Mumamo.
Mumamo as our hashtag. It seems unique enough. I did walk it through the playground a bit to make sure I wasn't accidentally swearing or
Did you Google that to make sure it's
did.
not like a weird sex act?
I did I did the culture check. It's come up clean. There is a Korean kind of a girl band. You know, they're a band, like what are they? They're kind of a group. And they
like
are
a K-pop
I'm
group?
here for K-pop.
yeah,
Right?
yeah, it's a K-pop group. But what do you think about that? Alex Thomas says it reminds me of NaNoWriMo. Agreed. So we have a precedent to do a thing sort
Right.
of like that.
It can also double as Mutants and Masterminds month, you know,
I love
when we
that.
have one.
But, you know, Jordan.
Yeah, when we have Mutants and Masterminds month every year.
Right.
That's right. That's right. A full month of this, just 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
It's just like the regular. It's just like every other month, except we wear leotards.
We do. Snug. They're very snug, so it may be unpleasant to watch, but educational. Jordan says, I have used villain points to keep the balance of play going. You know, Jordan, I'm going to tell you this. I'm giving you a hero point because you're keeping us on target. I do love that. Let's see. Alex someone says, Go ahead.
I did use villain points for Una in the very end of Nether War.
Yes.
To represent her ability to bounce back and sort of warp reality around her.
And that was a really good balance for the fact that it was primarily a solo fight versus a group of heroes.
She could summon goons who would just intercept attacks for her, but that was otherwise it was a solo fight.
Well, this is clever. Alex Thomas says, I call my Suicide Squad game hero points, and I do believe, Alex, we talked about villains, you know, as you know, and sort of the way to kind of you'll see that in you'll want to go to the library of Mutants and Masterminds stuff on our YouTube channel. We've got it all up there. But he says, I call my Suicide Squad game hero points parole points. Clever theming. Crystal's like,
oh yeah, we should probably remind. No, I was thinking we should remind everyone that Alex also runs a Let's Play on Monday nights.
Yes.
We'll be starting in about an hour.
Well, we are going for
over
3
with the
hours
Untold Stories
today.
project.
We're going for 3 hours today, so we're
please
just going to be. I'm kidding, we are not. But,
I have a meeting in an hour.
I know, and I've got it's 3:05, and sometimes you know we got here a little early. We're leaving a little late because that's the kind of commitment that we have to the Mutants and Masterminds fan.
I will say I'm sticking around to plug my new book. 2 of them now.
Right.
So coming out this week? No, next week. Coming out next week. I think I'm gonna. Coming out at some point this month.
What even is time?
I swear we'll figure out the dates and we'll tweet about it. But tell us all
It
about
is
it.
DC Comics' Love is a Battlefield anthology, which is I wanted to say 8 stories from new DC creators. I wrote the Wonder Woman story in it, where Wonder Woman tries to go out on a date with Steve Rogers, and it gets Steve Trevor. No, it's a crossover.
Wow. Ooh,
no,
I would really pay for that crossover.
You heard it here first.
Wherein I learned that apparently Steve Trevor is not supposed to be like a country good old boy, which is always the impression I had of him growing up and reading the old Perez comics. But my editor was like, "Why does he talk like this?"
Wow, that's interesting. That's
but yeah. For some reason, for me, he always read as like a good old boy. Like in the good sense, not the
Wyoming rancher type.
Yeah,
you know.
But no, it's they try to go on a date, and like every superhero date, it gets ruined by the appearance of Wonder Woman's worst villain.
Worst villain or best villain?
Best villain,
in
my opinion.
And who is that?
I don't want to spoil it for people.
Right. Ooh, yeah, absolutely. Jonesy, thank you so much for being for taking on the mantle of Link Wizardry. I do appreciate it. So yeah,
if you go to your friendly local comic shop and tell them you want a copy, it's too late to pre-order, so you'll have to just take your copy from what they already have. But
you should get.
I know they would appreciate it.
Yeah, call them right now and just be like, I demand it. I demand it.
Yeah. So 2 books.
2 books. Last week, my new graphic novel was announced. I'm working with the illustrator Val Weiss, and we have put together a comic book called Cheer Up, which is an adorable comic about cheerleaders who fall in love in high school. And it's very gay, and it doesn't have any superheroes in it, but they do have uniforms and they leap around, so
Right.
it's
Kind of
kind of
super.
related.
You know,
I think it's super.
I think it is too. I also think that you are super. I mean, I truly do. That is a.
We all do.
Yeah, we really, we truly do.
Aw.
But that is super exciting. And so now, where do people go to find more information? Jordan Taylor, how dare you drop those spoilers in the chat? I'm not even going to read them. I'm going to ignore them. Go ahead, Crystal. Sorry.
So you can find out more about it. The Beat has a preview of 5 pages of it and a little bit of text from both Val and I talking about the book. There's going to be more articles coming in the next couple of months. It comes out in August, so there's plenty of time to pre-order it, and it's up for sale on Barnes and Nobles and Amazon. You can pre-order it through your comic shop. It'll be featured in previews in, I think, June.
Mm-hmm. And it's going to be available in Comixology as well, right?
I don't know.
I'm just curious about the electronic version.
Oh, I hadn't even thought about an electronic version. I have no idea.
Interesting.
wow.
Well, we should definitely dig into that, and because I do a thing every Monday. I kick it off after Mutants Masterminds Monday, which is hashtag TTRPG side hustle, and so we will be sharing some of this as your side hustle, Crystal. I mean, I know it's it's kind of hard. Owen actually said last week it's really hard to kind of just discern what is a side hustle and what is my career of stuff. And so if it's all side hustle, then it's just the hustle.
It's like, is my career what makes more money, or is it what I spend all my time on?
Right. It's kind of like side hustle Voltron. Your career is just made up of a bunch of side hustles that all
my
unite.
career is like 4 different side hustles stitched together, like some sort of side hustle Stein.
Right.
I love that. Side Hustle Stein is, I can see that, the monster of ever-increasing workload. Steve, now you've got some side hustle stuff going on, don't you?
Most of the time.
Well, yeah. Anything that you would like to share appropriate to the audience?
You do have a super cool RPG project you're working on.
Right. I've got my Icons Patreon going on, so I'm usually doing something for that, for a monthly release of one sort or another.
Nice.
I was going to say, do I have any freelance? I don't have any freelance work I can talk about because it's all
it's
NDA.
all under NDA. Oh no.
Yeah, sadly, but the occasional freelance projects as well.
That's interesting. So what's when Casey Stevens says side hustle Stein? Oh, she beat me to it, Drat.
Too slow, Owen.
I mean, we all know that Side Hustle Stein was the name of the doctor.
Right, of
That's
course.
Right. It's the doctor's monster. Here's a question for you, Steve. Where do one go to be there?
Did you say that again in words, Troy?
Oh, wow. Art imitating life. If anyone is curious what it's like to try to read my typing, it's much like it sounds when I'm talking. Where do people go to check out your Patreon and that information?
Patreon.com/Steve Kenson. Super easy.
I'm glad that you don't, because I have the Patreon.com/Steve Kenson is the boss. Because I'm bringing that word back.
See, that's why I couldn't get that.
Right? I got it. But what's weird is that I'm making money, but you don't know what I'm selling. And the tears
we know what you're selling.
Exactly.
We're still buying.
Alex Thomas, we're still buying it every Monday and Thursday with Owen Casey Stevens when we do Thursdays together. It is this fun. You two are unflappable. Owen is the I think he's just flapless.
Yeah, turn in next week where we stat up a capybara.
Right? Captain Capybara.
That's it. I'm expired.
Oh man, maybe I'll tell you what. If we hit $500 this week, I will personally stat up a capybara in Mutants and Masterminds terms.
All right, listen to me, chat.
It's hard to pass up on that.
Imagine if I had.
In addition to what we've already promised.
If I had a face right now, you would see me staring directly into your soul, chat. Don't ruin this for me.
In fact, I will also do Captain Capybara. who uses a capybara as a sidekick.
What?
Or maybe Captain Capybara is the
He's
sidekick.
the sidekick.
I'm gonna cry. What? I need this stuff. I need this stuff. Jonesy is reminding us to. We've got so many good friends. Untold Stories Project is, a joint effort, and got a lot of really phenomenal Mutants Masterminds community leaders that get together and play. And I watched. You played last week. Are you playing again today? Are you?
I am not, unfortunately. I've got a bunch of meetings right after this.
I am. One of the things I was going to say is, even though the both of you are just incredibly, your schedules are packed. You still take the time to sit down and you genuinely love to interact. And here we are right now at 3:13, over delivering. So I'm going to say it's time to go. And the reason is because we could literally do this shuckies.
You do this all day.
I mean, not really. It's dinner time for Steve.
That's true. That is very true. And he is 300 years old, the man needs to feed on whatever. I don't know what the immortals eat, but I bet it looks like a soul. But it tastes like a soul too. Couple questions here. Our thoughts. Let's see. Captain Capybara has an adamantine throwing mammal. Oh, as one? Are you saying? Oh, and Casey Stevens. AJ Real throws money at the laptop. That is the idea. There is perfect. It is 100% in the right direction. You just need to stick it into your disk drive so that it comes to us. Make sure you head over to the Mutants Masterminds Patreon at Mutants AND Mastermind.
Yep. I love that $8 level. That is the sweet spot where you get basically the equivalent of a rogues gallery every single week, and then whatever other articles we unlock.
Scott Alford says 300 years old. He doesn't look a day over 200. Oh, over 20. I thought you said 201, but it's 20 exclamation point. I'm not really sure.
People have started giving me that. I understand, Steve. I understand your pain now because I've showed people pictures of me from high school, and they're like, "What? You haven't aged." Try telling them the secret is to start out looking 40.
Listen to these two. I love that the both of you are like, everyone just says I just never age and I just look beautiful all day long. It's just such a burden.
I mean, the problem is too many people start asking questions. Eventually, they'll find the bathtub full of blood.
Right. Eventually, too many people start asking questions. They need to start disappearing.
Well, and I'm sorry, chat, because you've heard this. We'll be by the visit.
Wait, we're still live?
We are. I'm sorry, we hadn't ended yet, but we can
bathtub full of blood, of course, being a band.
That's right. Yes, and also it is, when a capybara and a fennec fox knock on your door today, open the door. Do not make them wait outside in the cold. They just want to give you a forever hug. All right, friends. With that.
Oh God, Captain Capybara is a little fennec that rides a capybara mount, isn't it?
Crystal Frasier, why do you do this to me? I just became accustomed to my serotonin levels, and now I didn't even know I had the store. I don't know. I think I might need a nap or something. This is like a serious. Both of you two, thank you so much for hanging out today. Really looking forward to the rest of this month and what's going on the Patreon. But I'm also looking forward to Crystal's releases, and Steve, looking forward to what happens on your Patreon. I am the disembodied voice of Troy, and I'm saying to all of our friends in chat, hey, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for asking these great questions. If I missed something, or you want to add something, or you have an idea, we love ideas. We don't really. No, we do. I'm kidding. Send a note to letsplay at greenronin.com, and we answer. That's it, Crystal. Oh my God.
You okay, Troy?
I'm not. I mean, I am okay. Only in our modern time, in the worst timeline, would it be like, I'm having a good mood attack. Thank you both very much. We will see you all soon. Remember to wear your masks. Any final words before we visit?
Stay masked. Stay safe.
Yes.
Stay indoors.
Keep your distance from people. We all missed each other, but
yeah. Keep people safe.
Trust me, you don't want that hanging over you your whole life.
No, you don't. You do not. But you do want to hang out with us. So keep healthy, and we will see you next Monday. Thank you, too. Bye-bye, everyone.
Take care, everybody.